Okay, now we're finally gonna go somewhere, and that somewhere is Minmus first. I am just so confident I have so much Delta V that instead of doing this challenge of just going to the moon and back, I'm going to go to Minmus because why not? Um, so the easiest way for me to get to Minmus is to just put the maneuver node at the ascending descending node, get it a good 800 and something to 900 range of delta V in prograde, and then just rotate until you got a good flyby. Then when you get to the sphere of influence of Minmus, then you just slow it down. So this is me getting to Minmus, and I was so excited that I could have enough Delta V to get to both of these places on my third launch and plant a flag. It was just so fun. Anyway, so because I've gone to a flyby of the moon, getting to Minmus will get me even more money and will make it so that I can unlock more things. And I can't remember if I end up unlocking anything, but I could if I wanted to. So I might do another challenge where I try to get to Duna in as few launches as possible. And if I do that, then I probably would want to take a scientist on this. I took a pilot, which I'm trying to remember if that's why I didn't have SAS on my last launch. That might have been it. Because I had a scientist, I don't think I can use SAS in the cockpit. Anyway, so here's my flight out to Minmus, doing its thing. Feel like I should have time warped a little bit so that this goes faster. Well, maybe I will load up the wiki page and remind myself what the different biomes are. So you can get a EVA report, landed, splash down, flying low, flying high, in space low, and in space high. You can get a crew report in those different things. And oh, I see. So you can get an EV. So there's a global or a biome is the two options for a science. So surface or splash down, landed or splash down, depends on which biome you're in. You will get a different science report. For flying low, you can do that same thing for an EVA. Flying high, it doesn't matter what biome you're over because it's a global science. Same thing with so that's flying high and in space high. So if you're flying low or in space low, it does depend on what biome you're flying over. So in my first launch, if I could have EVA'd in high in the upper atmosphere real quick, pulled out the crew report, then I could have gotten a flying low in above KSC and a flying low above the grasslands. or if I had made it so I landed with a little bit of fuel left and launched myself back up in the air, I could have gotten a EVA report flying flying low. The capsule has a global for flying high, in space low, and in space high, but it does have a biome flying low, splashdown, or landed. And the mystery goo is biome based for flying low, splashed down, or landed, but flying high, in space low, and in space high are all global. So you can only get one flying high or in space low or in space high per celestial body. And then where is temperature scan is just like the mystery goo, where there's a biome for where you are landed, and there's a biome for where you're flying low. So I guess the mystery goo and that pressure scan are the same as far as which things you can get. Pressure scans in each biome landed or in splashdown, but you don't get them differently based off of if you're flying low above something or flying low above something else. The temperature scan is different though, flying low. So if you're flying low over the water or flying low over KSC or whatever, you can get a different temperature scan. So I could have gotten even more science by making sure to get temperature scans while I was re-entering the atmosphere. Like if I had EVA'd on my second flight and gotten temperature scan flying low above the water or flying low above the desert, I just need to be below 2,000 or 20,000 meters. So I probably could have tried to make it so my my re-entry crossed two different biomes if I really tried. Maybe by having the periaps closer to 20 kilometers or something like that, maybe 18 kilometers, I would have come in a lot hotter, but I might have been able to guarantee that I got two temperature scans that way, flying low, then pulled the data out of the temperature scans and gotten the temperature scan while in the water or on the desert or whatever. So I think I could have gotten a lot more than I did on the second one, but like I said, I end up having plenty of science to make it to the moon and Minmus on my third flight. Let's see what else I can learn over here and talk about. So there's the transmission efficiency. There's also, yeah, so mystery goo has a base value of 10 and a max value of 13. And then there's a multiplier based off of what celestial body you're at. So Kerbin landed has a multiplier of 0.3. Splashdown has a multiplier of 0.4. Low atmosphere 0.7, high atmosphere 0.9. Oh, it looks like the atmospheric border is actually 18 kilometers. I thought it was 20. So in space low has a 1x. In space high has a 1.5x. And then around moon, it looks like there's a 4x landed, 3x low, 2x high. Minmus has a 5x landed, 4x low, 2.5x high. I wonder if I could have gotten to Minmus landed and gotten back on my second, because I would have gotten even more science getting landed. I wonder if I could have just done my my ship just a little bit different if I could have, but I think that 30 parts limit is really what's limiting me on my second flight. And since I have 2 exterior tanks, I can use those as nice stable landing legs basically. And now I have landed on Minmus. I still have plenty of fuel in my exterior tanks, and I have not even started to use my center stage. I did end up bringing way more batteries than I needed, because I ended up, so I had tried doing something like this before, and the SAS using electricity, just having the 30 or whatever electric charge that the crew cabin has is definitely not enough. But I ended up bringing 4 of those extra batteries. I think I could have easily gotten away with just 2, and might have even been able to just get away with 1. Alright, the next part is getting to the moon. So come on back.